The battle for the Mediterranean in 1940 was a critical theater of World War II, shaping the strategic balance between the Axis and Allied powers in North Africa, Southern Europe, and the Mediterranean Sea. Control of the Mediterranean was vital for supply lines, colonial access, and the movement of troops and resources, particularly for Britain, which relied on sea routes to maintain connections with its empire in Africa, the Middle East, and India. The campaign saw naval battles, air engagements, and ground operations, marking the Mediterranean as a pivotal front in the early years of the war. Strategic importance of the Mediterranean. Supply routes. The Mediterranean was the lifeline to British colonies and provided the shortest route from Europe to the Middle East and Asia. Colonial access. Control of territories such as Egypt, Libya, and the Middle East ensured access to oil and strategic bases. Axis ambitions. Italy, under Benito Mussolini, sought to expand influence in North Africa and the Mediterranean, challenging British dominance. Geopolitical positioning. The Mediterranean allowed the Axis to threaten British control of the Suez Canal, a crucial artery for Allied logistics. Key players. Allied powers. United Kingdom dominated the Mediterranean with its Royal Navy and controlled strategic bases in Gibraltar, Malta, and Egypt. France. Though partially defeated in June 1940, Vichy France controlled key territories in North Africa, which became contested later. Commonwealth forces. Troops from Australia, New Zealand, India, and South Africa contributed to North African campaigns. Axis powers. Italy. The Italian Royal Navy, Regia Marina, and Italian Army aimed to expand Italian holdings in Libya and North Africa. Germany. Though officially not yet fully engaged in the Mediterranean in 1940, Germany's influence increased through support to Italy and preparation for later campaigns. Italy enters the war. On June 10, 1940, Italy declared war on Britain and France, hoping to seize French and British territories while France was weakened. Italy's initial objectives included capturing British-controlled Egypt and the Suez Canal, expanding influence over Libya, the Dodecanese Islands, and Malta. Italian forces were numerically superior in North Africa but lacked coordination, logistics, and combat experience. Early ground operations. Italian advance from Libya into Egypt. The Italian 10th Army moved east from Libya into Egypt, aiming to seize Suez and Alexandria. Despite having strong artillery and tanks, Italian advances were slow due to logistical challenges in the desert. British forces, though outnumbered, conducted harassing operations and defended key positions along the western desert. Fort Capuzzo and Solesmes. Early skirmishes focused on Fort Capuzzo and the coastal town of Solesmes, where British and Italian forces clashed. British Western Desert Force, under General Richard O'Connor, used mobility and local knowledge to stymie Italian offensives. Naval operations. British naval dominance. The Royal Navy controlled Gibraltar, Malta, and Alexandria, giving Britain strategic bases for Mediterranean patrols. Key operations included intercepting Italian convoys to North Africa, protecting Malta as a forward base for air and naval strikes, engaging the Italian Navy in battles like Taranto, November 1940 air attack, demonstrating British naval innovation. Italian naval challenges. The Regia Marina had modern ships and battleships but suffered from limited operational experience, poor coordination with ground forces, vulnerability to air attacks and submarine operations. Air operations. Royal Air Force (RAF) operated from Malta and Egypt, conducting reconnaissance, bombing raids on Italian positions and protecting convoys. Italy deployed the Regia Aeronautica, but effectiveness was limited by training, tactics, and coordination with the army. Air superiority played a key role in supporting mobile desert operations and maintaining control over supply lines. Key battles in 1940. Sidi Barrani, December 1940. British counterattack launched from Egypt, exploiting Italian overextension. Using mechanized and mobile tactics, British forces captured Sidi Barrani, forcing Italians to retreat into Libya. Battle of the Mediterranean Sea. Multiple naval engagements occurred, including convoy attacks and skirmishes near Sicily and North Africa. British submarines and surface ships disrupted Italian supply lines, weakening Axis positions in Libya. Defense of Malta. Malta became a critical base for the Allies, resisting Italian and later German air attacks. RAF and naval operations from Malta intercepted convoys and disrupted Axis logistics. Strategic outcomes of 1940. Italian failures in North Africa. Italian offensives into Egypt were repelled, revealing weaknesses in planning and execution. Supply shortages, poor coordination, and desert conditions hampered Italian operations. Allied control of key routes. Britain maintained control over Suez, Malta, and Western Desert routes, ensuring continued communication with colonies. Naval dominance allowed the Allies to interdict Axis supply lines in North Africa and the Mediterranean, prelude to German involvement. Italian failures prompted German intervention in 1941, leading to the arrival of Rommel's Afrika Corps. The Mediterranean would remain a critical theater, with battles in Libya, Egypt, Greece, and Crete unfolding over the next 3 years. Lessons from the Mediterranean Campaign 1940. Logistics are decisive. Desert warfare highlighted the importance of supply lines, water, fuel, and reinforcements. Air power shapes naval operations. British air attacks, including carrier-based strikes, neutralized Italian naval strength. Coordination between services. Failure to integrate Army, Navy, and Air Force operations hampered Italian offensives. Geopolitics influenced strategy. Control of Mediterranean choke points like Suez and Malta had global consequences for the British Empire. The battle for the Mediterranean in 1940 demonstrated that strategic control of sea lanes, combined with air support and mobile ground operations, was essential for modern warfare. Italian overconfidence, logistical shortcomings, and lack of coordination allowed Britain to maintain key positions, including Egypt and Malta, despite being stretched across multiple fronts. While the Mediterranean theater would later see German intervention and larger-scale campaigns, the events of 1940 established critical lessons in logistics, joint operations, and strategic planning. Control of the Mediterranean remained a prize of global importance, shaping the conduct of World War II in North Africa and Southern Europe.